What if you could unlock a mindset that transforms setbacks into stepping stones and propels you toward success? Many people feel driven to achieve more but struggle to maintain the motivation and focus necessary to reach their goals. This book is your guide to cultivating a winning mindset, one that will empower you to see challenges as opportunities, build resilience, and stay focused on your path to success. In Success Pathway, Cultivate a Winning Mindset will take a practical, step-by-step journey toward developing the habits and thought patterns that lead to lasting achievement. Each chapter will offer relatable examples, clear insights, and actionable exercises, making the concepts easy to understand and apply. Whether you're just starting out or seeking to enhance your current journey, this book will provide the tools and inspiration you need to shift your mindset, stay motivated, and create a pathway to success that you can sustain. Chapter 1: Setting the Foundation, Understanding a Winning Mindset. Imagine waking up each day with the confidence that you can overcome whatever comes your way, knowing that your mindset is a tool you can rely on. The concept of a winning mindset might sound like a catchy phrase, but it's far more than a feel-good idea. A winning mindset is a carefully nurtured outlook that empowers us to face challenges, adapt, and persist with a sense of purpose and optimism. It's about training your mind to be your strongest ally, no matter the obstacles in your path. At its core, a winning mindset is the belief that your abilities can grow through dedication and effort, often referred to as a growth mindset. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, people with a winning mindset view them as valuable experiences and lessons. When we talk about setting the foundation for this mindset, we're talking about building a mental framework that supports persistence and resilience. With this mindset, failures become stepping stones, and challenges transform into moments of growth. This approach contrasts sharply with a fixed mindset, where people believe their talents and intelligence are set in stone and that they are limited by what they are naturally good at. By embracing a growth-oriented, winning mindset, you'll find yourself open to learning and unafraid of setbacks, understanding that every experience brings you closer to your potential. Take the example of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. Edison famously said he didn't fail, but rather found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Imagine the resilience and perspective it took to keep going after thousands of failed attempts. Edison's mindset, his belief in his ability to figure it out, no matter how many tries it took, was the key to his success. He knew that each setback wasn't a mark of failure, but a step forward. This relentless curiosity and willingness to learn, rather than the absence of setbacks, enabled his invention to succeed. By adopting a similar approach, you can train yourself to view challenges not as roadblocks, but as guides showing you the way forward. Let's look at a more everyday example. Picture a student struggling with math. With a fixed mindset, the student might think, "I'm just not good at math," and give up, believing their struggles define their potential. But with a winning mindset, they might approach it differently. Math is tough, but with practice, I can improve. This shift in thinking makes all the difference, because the student's belief in their capacity to grow allows them to put in the necessary effort, leading to steady improvement over time. This doesn't mean the journey is always smooth or that they won't experience frustration. Rather, it shows how they're building resilience and adaptability by choosing to see progress as possible. Another vital part of a winning mindset is the ability to focus on effort and progress rather than perfection. Many people fall into the trap of waiting until they feel ready or until circumstances are perfect before taking action. However, those with a winning mindset know that progress is often imperfect, messy, and non-linear. They don't hold back for fear of making mistakes. Instead, they trust that growth is happening, even if it's gradual and sometimes uncomfortable. By focusing on small wins and celebrating efforts, they stay motivated and avoid becoming overwhelmed by the bigger picture. In other words, they see value in the journey as much as in the destination. Developing a winning mindset also means managing self-talk, the internal dialogue that shapes how you see yourself and the world around you. Positive self-talk fuels confidence and resilience, while negative self-talk drains motivation and feeds self-doubt. When you hit a roadblock, Your inner voice could either say, "I'm not good enough," or "This is tough, but I'll figure it out." Imagine the difference in how you'd approach the situation based on which message you choose to believe. Shifting your self-talk to a more supportive and constructive tone is a fundamental step in building a winning mindset. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it means acknowledging difficulties while reinforcing your ability to handle them. So how can you start cultivating this mindset in your own life? Begin by observing how you respond to challenges, both big and small. Are you quick to give up, or do you look for solutions? Pay attention to your inner voice and the messages it sends. If you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," try shifting your language to something more empowering, like, "I can't do this yet." The simple addition of "yet" changes the meaning entirely, reminding you that growth and improvement are possible. This shift is subtle but powerful, helping you to stay open to learning rather than feeling defeated by setbacks. Think about an area of your life where you'd like to grow, a skill you've been hesitant to pursue, or a challenge you've been avoiding. Reflect on how adopting a winning mindset could reshape your approach. Imagine the possibilities that could open up if you embrace the idea that effort, rather than natural talent, is the key to progress. Consider the satisfaction of steady improvement, of knowing that each step brings you closer to your goals. Even if the path is difficult, a winning mindset will guide you forward, encouraging you to keep moving, learning, and evolving. As we continue through this book, each chapter will add a new layer to this foundation, helping you deepen and strengthen your winning mindset. From overcoming limiting beliefs to building self-discipline, each step is designed to help you cultivate resilience, focus, and a drive that won't be easily shaken. Remember, the journey won't always be easy, but it will be worthwhile. By embracing the principles of a winning mindset, you're not just preparing yourself for success, you're laying the groundwork for a life filled with purpose, progress, and a belief in your potential. Practical reflection. Think of a recent challenge or setback. Reflect on how you approached it. Did you feel defeated or motivated to keep trying? Now, imagine how you might tackle similar challenges in the future with a winning mindset. How would shifting your focus from immediate success to growth change your perspective? Take a moment to write down one way you'll remind yourself to embrace growth in the face of challenges. Chapter 2: Breaking Barriers, Overcoming Limiting Beliefs. Have you ever felt held back by a small voice in your mind that whispers, "You're not good enough," or "You can't do that"? These thoughts, known as limiting beliefs, can quietly control our choices and steer us away from our goals. They're the mental barriers that keep us within our comfort zones, convincing us that we're not capable of achieving more. But the truth is, these beliefs aren't facts. They're stories we tell ourselves. To truly cultivate a winning mindset, we need to break down these mental barriers, replacing them with empowering beliefs that support our growth and potential. Limiting beliefs often develop from past experiences, societal expectations, or even comments made by others. For example, if you were told as a child that you weren't good at a particular subject or skill, you might still carry that belief into adulthood. Maybe you were once nervous about public speaking and ended up stumbling through a presentation, leading you to believe that you're not a natural speaker. Over time, this belief becomes ingrained, shaping your actions and holding you back from opportunities where you could shine. A crucial part of overcoming limiting beliefs is recognizing that they are not truths. They're simply interpretations of past events, often rooted in fear and self-doubt. Consider the story of Sarah, a talented artist who dreamed of sharing her work with the world. However, every time she thought about exhibiting her art, a familiar voice in her head would say, "There are better artists out there. You're not ready." This thought held her back for years. It wasn't until a friend encouraged her to showcase her work at a local event that Sarah took the leap. Nervous but determined, she presented her art, only to discover that her work was well received and admired. Sarah realized that her belief about not being good enough was a barrier she had created in her mind. By challenging that belief and pushing past it, she opened herself up to new possibilities and recognition for her talent. Overcoming limiting beliefs isn't about ignoring fear or pretending that doubt doesn't exist. It's about questioning those thoughts and choosing to see yourself in a different light. Start by identifying a belief that might be holding you back. Perhaps you think, "I'm not a leader," or "I'm not smart enough to succeed in this field." Ask yourself, is this really true? Challenge that belief by finding evidence to the contrary. Often, you'll discover moments in your life that prove your ability to lead, your intelligence, or your resilience. By consciously choosing to focus on these positive experiences, you weaken the grip of limiting beliefs and begin to see your true potential. One powerful way to shift your mindset is through visualization. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your mind starts to believe that this outcome is possible. Picture yourself accomplishing something you once thought was out of reach. Visualize the steps you'd take, the people who would support you, and the feeling of pride that would come with achieving your goal. By repeatedly envisioning positive outcomes, you're training your brain to embrace new possibilities and override doubts. Visualization is like mental rehearsal. It prepares you to face challenges with confidence, making it easier to take bold steps forward. Another technique to break free from limiting beliefs is to reframe your thoughts. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," try, "I'm learning, and I'm getting better." This small shift in language reminds you that growth is a journey, not an instant result. For example, let's say you've always thought you're not skilled with technology. Reframing that belief to, "I'm open to learning about technology," invites curiosity and encourages you to take small, manageable steps toward improving your skills. With each small victory, you'll start to see that the belief was never set in stone. It was simply a temporary mindset that you've now outgrown. It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who believe in your potential. Supportive friends, mentors, or colleagues can offer encouragement and help you see yourself in a new light. Just as limiting beliefs can form from negative experiences, positive reinforcement can help you reshape your self-image. If you find yourself doubting your abilities, talk to someone who has seen you at your best. Often, they'll remind you of strengths you've overlooked and achievements you've dismissed. Hearing about your capabilities from an outside perspective can be a powerful way to challenge limiting beliefs and embrace a more empowered self-view. Finally, understand that overcoming limiting beliefs is a gradual process. Don't expect every self-doubt to disappear overnight. Instead, focus on celebrating small wins. Each time you take a step that challenges a limiting belief, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, trying something new, or taking on a project you once thought was too difficult, acknowledge your progress. These small victories accumulate over time, building the confidence you need to silence self-doubt and pursue your dreams wholeheartedly. Imagine, for instance, a person who always believed they weren't athletic because they struggled with sports as a child. This belief followed them into adulthood, leading them to avoid any activity that seemed physically challenging. But one day, they decide to join a beginner's fitness class just to try it out. After a few sessions, they start to feel stronger and their confidence grows. The belief that they aren't athletic starts to fade, replaced by a newfound sense of capability and resilience. This is the power of challenging limiting beliefs. It opens up new paths, transforming what once seemed impossible into something achievable. As we journey further into this book, remember that breaking free from limiting beliefs is an essential step in developing a winning mindset. Each barrier you dismantle brings you closer to realizing your true potential. The more you confront these beliefs, the stronger and more capable you'll feel. You're not defined by your past experiences or the doubts that arise from them. You have the power to rewrite your story, to see yourself through a lens of growth and possibility, and to create a mindset that supports your path to success. Practical reflection. Think about a belief you've held about yourself that may be limiting your potential. Ask yourself, is this belief based on facts, or is it a story I've been telling myself? Write down one action you can take this week to challenge that belief, no matter how small. Reflect on how you feel after taking that step. By facing your limiting beliefs, you're opening the door to a new version of yourself, one that's ready to grow and succeed. Chapter 3. Building Self-Discipline, the Key to Consistency. What if you could harness the power to consistently work toward your goals, even when motivation fades? This is where self-discipline comes in. Unlike motivation, which is fleeting and often unreliable, self-discipline is the steady force that keeps us moving forward, no matter how we feel in the moment. It's the ability to choose long-term success over immediate comfort. Building self-discipline is one of the most powerful steps you can take in developing a winning mindset, because it turns good intentions into consistent action, creating a foundation for real, lasting achievement. Self-discipline is about setting clear intentions and following through on them, even when distractions or temptations arise. Imagine someone trying to learn a new language. At first, their motivation is high, and they eagerly dive into study sessions. But over time, they face days when they're tired, busy, or simply not in the mood. Without self-discipline, it becomes easy to skip sessions, rationalizing that they'll catch up tomorrow. Unfortunately, tomorrow can turn into weeks, and their progress stalls. In contrast, someone with self-discipline creates a study routine, committing to their goal even when the initial excitement wears off. They understand that each session, no matter how small, is a building block toward fluency. Over time, this consistent effort compounds, leading to noticeable improvement that motivation alone could never achieve. One way to strengthen self-discipline is to focus on small, manageable actions rather than overwhelming goals. Instead of aiming to read a book every week or exercise every day for an hour, start with a few pages a day or a 10-minute workout. By creating achievable steps, you build a sense of accomplishment and reinforce the habit of following through. Consider John, a man who wanted to write a novel. His initial goal felt daunting, and he often struggled to get started. But once he decided to commit to writing just 300 words each day, a task that took only about 15 minutes, he found himself consistently building his story. Over a few months, his small efforts added up, and he completed his novel, a goal that once seemed impossible. This illustrates the power of starting small. By creating manageable actions, you set yourself up for consistent progress. Another key to self-discipline is creating an environment that supports your goals. If you're trying to improve your eating habits, for instance, stocking your kitchen with healthy foods and keeping snacks out of sight can reduce the temptation to give in to cravings. Our environment has a profound effect on our behavior, often without us realizing it. Think of athletes who prepare their gym clothes the night before, or writers who set up a designated workspace. By making the desired behavior easier and minimizing distractions, they're setting themselves up for success. In this way, self-discipline isn't only about inner resolve, it's also about setting up external cues that support your intentions. There's also a psychological aspect to self-discipline. The importance of celebrating small wins. When you reach a milestone, no matter how minor, take a moment to acknowledge your effort. This positive reinforcement creates a mental reward, making it easier to stick to your habits. Let's say you've committed to reading 10 pages of a book each day. After a week of consistency, celebrate this progress. It could be something as simple as enjoying a favorite drink or taking a relaxing break. Over time, your brain associates discipline with positive experiences, which makes it easier to stay on track. Self-discipline also requires patience and resilience. There will be times when you slip up, feel frustrated, or even doubt your ability to continue. In those moments, remember that self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up consistently, even after setbacks. Consider Maria, a woman committed to improving her physical fitness. After weeks of regular exercise, she missed a few days due to illness. Initially, she felt discouraged, but instead of giving up, she focused on returning to her routine, one step at a time. She reminded herself that a few missed days didn't erase her progress. They were simply part of her journey. By embracing a forgiving attitude and resuming her routine, Maria sustained her long-term commitment to fitness. This flexibility in self-discipline helps prevent the all-or-nothing thinking that often leads to giving up. One of the most effective strategies for building self-discipline is to remember your why. Your why is the underlying reason behind your goal, what you hope to achieve, or the positive change you envision. When self-discipline feels challenging, Reconnecting with your purpose can reignite your determination. If you're working toward a healthier lifestyle, for example, your why might be to feel energetic, reduce stress, or improve your well-being for yourself and those around you. By keeping your reason front and center, you're more likely to push through difficult moments and stay committed to your goal. Think of your why as an anchor that keeps you grounded when waves of distraction or discouragement arise. It's also helpful to track your progress as a way to maintain self-discipline. When you can see how far you've come, you're more likely to stay motivated. Keep a journal, mark off days on a calendar, or use an app that tracks your consistency. Seeing a streak of completed days or a growing list of small accomplishments reinforces the habit, making it easier to keep going. For instance, if you're building a reading habit, keeping track of the books you've completed or the days you read reinforces the satisfaction of progress. Tracking your efforts also provides a visual reminder of your commitment, reminding you of the discipline you've built over time. Finally, remember that self-discipline is a skill, and like any skill, it strengthens with practice. It's normal to have days where self-discipline feels like a struggle, but each small act of consistency builds your resilience. Over time, you'll find that sticking to your goals becomes second nature, not because the actions are easier, but because you've developed the habit of showing up. By focusing on small steps, setting up a supportive environment, celebrating your progress, and reconnecting with your why, you create a foundation of self-discipline that can carry you through any challenge. Practical reflection. Think of a goal you've been wanting to work toward. Reflect on one small action you can commit to daily, even when motivation is low. Write it down and consider why this goal matters to you. How can this daily action help you build self-discipline over time? Remember, each small step is a victory that brings you closer to the person you want to become. Chapter 4. Embracing Challenges, Turning Obstacles into Opportunities. Have you ever looked back on a difficult experience and realized it helped you grow in ways you hadn't expected? Challenges often feel overwhelming in the moment, yet they can be some of our greatest teachers. Embracing challenges is essential to developing a winning mindset, transforming obstacles from things we fear into opportunities for growth. This chapter explores how to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as moments to strengthen resilience, deepen skills, and become more adaptable in the face of adversity. One of the keys to embracing challenges is to shift our perspective. Often we see challenges as threats, things to avoid or overcome as quickly as possible. However, by viewing them through a different lens, as chances to learn and grow, we begin to see their true value. Imagine a young entrepreneur, Alex, who started his business with high hopes. After a few months, he hit a rough patch and struggled with sales. At first, he felt defeated, wondering if he was cut out for entrepreneurship. But after reflecting, he realized that this setback was a chance to refine his approach and learn from his mistakes. He studied his customers' needs more closely, adjusted his strategy, and slowly saw improvement. Through this challenge, Alex didn't just learn how to run a business. He learned resilience, adaptability, and the power of perseverance. The experience became a valuable lesson, shaping his approach to future obstacles. Embracing challenges also means allowing ourselves to feel uncomfortable and uncertain without giving up. It's natural to feel unsure when facing something unfamiliar or difficult. Yet by pushing through these moments, we develop a kind of mental toughness that serves us in all areas of life. Take the example of Sarah, a woman who had always been afraid of public speaking. When she received a promotion at work, she knew she would have to lead team meetings, a task that terrified her. Instead of avoiding the situation, Sarah decided to confront her fear. She joined a local public speaking club, practiced regularly, and over time became more comfortable in front of an audience. Each small step she took toward embracing this challenge added to her confidence, and eventually, she became a skilled and confident speaker. What once felt like an overwhelming obstacle became a source of pride and accomplishment, simply because she chose to face it rather than run from it. A winning mindset also requires us to approach challenges with curiosity instead of frustration. When we view obstacles with curiosity, we open ourselves up to new solutions and possibilities. Curiosity encourages us to ask questions like, what can I learn from this? Or, how can this experience help me improve? For instance, let's say you're trying to learn a new skill, like coding, and find yourself struggling with a particular concept. Instead of feeling frustrated and giving up, try approaching it with curiosity. What resources could help you understand it better? Are there others who have faced similar struggles who might offer advice? By staying curious, you'll find yourself more engaged in the process, seeing each setback as a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. Another way to reframe challenges is to focus on the personal growth they foster. When we face obstacles, we often have to dig deep to find strengths we didn't know we had. This growth process isn't always easy, but it shapes who we are and builds character. Think of athletes who train for competitions. Their journey is filled with setbacks, injuries, defeats, or missed goals. Yet each of these challenges strengthens them, both physically and mentally, helping them to become better competitors. The training process is a testament to their resilience and dedication, and the lessons learned extend beyond the sport itself. By facing and embracing these obstacles, they're not just building skills. They're building resilience and mental fortitude that will benefit them long after they leave the field. Embracing challenges also means accepting that failure is part of the journey. No one succeeds without setbacks, and expecting perfection only sets us up for disappointment. When we give ourselves permission to fail, we take the pressure off and open up to real learning. Take Thomas Edison's journey in inventing the light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failed attempt taught him something new, bringing him closer to his goal. Edison's attitude shows us that failure isn't the end, it's simply feedback, an opportunity to refine our approach and try again with greater wisdom. To fully embrace challenges, it's essential to develop a sense of patience and compassion for ourselves. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and we're likely to face setbacks along the way. By treating ourselves with understanding and patience, we avoid harsh self-criticism and instead focus on progress. Consider David, an artist who spent years developing his craft. He faced periods of self-doubt, moments when he wanted to quit because things weren't progressing as quickly as he'd hoped. However, by treating himself with kindness and reminding himself that growth takes time, he was able to keep going. Each stroke, each sketch, brought him closer to mastery. By practicing patience and self-compassion, he allowed himself the grace to grow at his own pace. Ultimately, embracing challenges requires a belief in our ability to adapt and improve. When we trust that we can learn from every experience, even the difficult ones, we feel more empowered to face life's uncertainties. Challenges become opportunities to prove to ourselves that we're capable of growth and change. This mindset is the essence of resilience, believing in our ability to bounce back and evolve no matter the circumstances. As you move forward in your journey, remember that every challenge you face is shaping you into a stronger, more resilient person. Each obstacle you embrace teaches you something valuable, not just about the world, but about your own potential. By seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, you're building a mindset that can withstand setbacks and thrive in the face of adversity. Practical reflection. Think of a recent challenge that felt overwhelming. Reflect on how you responded and consider one way you could approach a similar challenge with curiosity and patience. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me about my strengths or areas for growth? Write down one lesson you learned and think about how you can apply it to future challenges. Embracing challenges is about learning to see each obstacle as a chance to grow stronger and more capable. Chapter 5. Developing Resilience, Bouncing Back Stronger. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to bounce back from setbacks while others struggle to recover? The secret lies in resilience, the ability to keep going, to rise each time you fall, and to learn from life's difficulties. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardships, it's about facing them head-on and emerging stronger. In this chapter, we'll explore how to develop resilience so you can handle challenges with strength and confidence, knowing that each setback is an opportunity for growth. Resilience begins with our mindset. When we encounter setbacks, it's natural to feel discouraged, But resilient people don't allow temporary challenges to define them. They recognize that difficulties are part of the journey and choose to see them as moments to grow. Imagine Emma, a student who had always excelled in her studies, suddenly facing failure for the first time on an important exam. Initially, she felt devastated and questioned her abilities. But after some reflection, she chose to view the failure as a lesson, rather than a defeat. Emma used this experience to identify her weaknesses, adjust her study habits, and eventually improve her performance. This process of reframing setbacks is central to resilience. Instead of viewing difficulties as insurmountable obstacles, resilient people see them as stepping stones toward improvement. Building resilience also involves learning to manage emotions during tough times. It's natural to feel a range of emotions when things go wrong: frustration, disappointment, even sadness. Rather than suppressing these feelings, resilient individuals allow themselves to experience them, giving themselves space to process what they're going through. This doesn't mean dwelling on negative emotions, but rather acknowledging them as part of the process. Think about a young athlete named James, who experienced an injury that temporarily halted his training. At first, he felt discouraged and even angry, but instead of letting these feelings consume him, he took time to process them, eventually channeling his energy into physical therapy and focusing on recovery. By acknowledging his emotions rather than ignoring them, James was able to move forward with a clear, balanced mindset, accelerating his path to healing. Another essential element of resilience is adaptability. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and resilience means being willing to adjust when things change unexpectedly. Consider the story of Mia, a graphic designer who lost her job during a company restructuring. She had the choice to view this as a devastating setback or as an opportunity to reinvent herself. Mia chose the latter. She took online courses to enhance her skills, networked with professionals in her field, and eventually found freelance opportunities that allowed her to work independently. By embracing adaptability, Mia transformed a potentially career-ending experience into a chance to grow and explore new avenues. Resilient people understand that life will throw curveballs, but they trust in their ability to adjust, knowing that change often leads to unexpected growth. An important aspect of resilience is the ability to set realistic goals during challenging times. When we face setbacks, large goals can feel overwhelming and it's easy to lose motivation. Resilient individuals break down their goals into smaller, manageable steps, allowing themselves to see progress even in tough situations. Let's return to Emma, the student. After failing her exam, she set a goal to improve her grade, but recognized that trying to master everything at once would be overwhelming. Instead, she created a study schedule that focused on one subject area at a time. By celebrating small wins, she kept her motivation alive and avoided feeling overwhelmed. This approach helped her stay focused and steadily rebuild her confidence. Setting realistic goals allows us to move forward without becoming discouraged, reminding us that progress, however small, is still progress. Resilience also involves building a support system. When life becomes challenging, having people who believe in us and offer encouragement makes a significant difference. Resilient people understand that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. They recognize that everyone faces hardships and that sharing those experiences with others can lighten the load. Think of Ben, a musician struggling to succeed in a competitive industry. After numerous rejections, he considered giving up. But when he shared his feelings with friends and mentors, he received the encouragement he needed to keep going. His support system reminded him of his talent and resilience, helping him find the motivation to persevere. By leaning on others in difficult times, Ben was able to bounce back stronger and eventually achieve his goals. Support systems can provide a sense of perspective, reminding us that setbacks are part of everyone's journey and that we're not alone in our struggles. Another powerful way to cultivate resilience is by focusing on gratitude. When we encounter difficulties, it's easy to concentrate on what's going wrong. But resilient people practice gratitude, finding things they can appreciate even during tough times. By focusing on what they have, rather than what they lack, they maintain a positive outlook. Consider Sarah, who faced financial challenges after losing her job. Although the situation was stressful, she chose to focus on the things she still had: supportive family, good health, and the skills that could eventually help her secure a new position. Each day, she made a habit of listing 3 things she was grateful for, which helped her stay positive and resilient. Gratitude shifts our focus, allowing us to see beyond temporary setbacks and stay motivated. Developing resilience also requires a commitment to self-care. Taking care of our physical and mental well-being helps us stay strong during difficult times. When we're well-rested, eating properly, and engaging in activities that relieve stress, we're better equipped to handle challenges. Resilient people understand that self-care isn't a luxury. It's a necessity, especially during tough times. Imagine David, a young father juggling work and family responsibilities. When he faced a financial setback, the stress started affecting his sleep and mood. Recognizing that he needed to be strong for his family, David made a commitment to prioritize self-care. He set aside time each morning for a short walk, focused on healthy meals, and practiced mindfulness to manage his stress. These small acts of self-care helped him regain his balance, allowing him to approach his challenges with renewed strength and resilience. As we continue on the path to a winning mindset, remember that resilience isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up each time we do. It's the strength to face life's inevitable ups and downs with courage, adaptability, and hope. By embracing resilience, you're building the inner strength to handle whatever comes your way, knowing that each setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and move forward. Practical reflection. Think of a recent challenge or setback that felt overwhelming. Reflect on how you responded and consider one change you could make to approach similar challenges with resilience. Write down one small goal that can help you stay focused during tough times, and identify one person or practice that can serve as part of your support system. Resilience is a skill that grows each time you face a challenge with strength and courage, building a foundation for a life that can thrive in any situation. Chapter 6. The Power of Positive Thinking, Shaping Your Inner Dialogue. Have you ever noticed how your inner voice can either lift you up or bring you down? The way we speak to ourselves, the thoughts we entertain, and the beliefs we nurture all play a significant role in shaping our reality. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on thoughts that empower us and propel us forward. In this chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of positive thinking and how a constructive inner dialogue can make a profound difference in our lives. At its core, positive thinking is about cultivating an optimistic outlook and focusing on solutions rather than problems. Life is full of ups and downs, and while we can't control every situation, we can control how we respond. Consider Lily, who faced numerous rejections while applying for her dream job. She could have allowed negative thoughts to take over, convincing herself she wasn't good enough. Instead, she chose to interpret each rejection as a step closer to her goal, seeing it as feedback rather than failure. This shift in her thinking kept her motivated, and eventually, she landed the position she had been working toward. Lily's experience highlights a crucial truth. Our thoughts influence our actions, and a positive mindset encourages perseverance, even when the journey is tough. Positive thinking isn't just about external outcomes, it also affects our internal state. Studies show that optimistic individuals experience lower stress levels, improved mental health, and greater overall well-being. When we focus on positive thoughts, our brains release feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, creating a sense of calm and happiness. This mental shift has a ripple effect, allowing us to face challenges with clarity and confidence. Imagine Jack, a high school teacher juggling multiple responsibilities. When faced with a difficult day, Jack could dwell on his stress and exhaustion. But by choosing to focus on small wins, like the impact he has on his students or the progress they're making, he finds renewed energy. This simple change in perspective not only improves his mood but also strengthens his commitment to his work, showing how powerful a positive inner dialogue can be. Creating a positive inner dialogue often starts with becoming aware of our thoughts. Many of us have an inner critic, a voice that magnifies mistakes, doubts our abilities, and fuels self-doubt. While it's natural to have self-critical thoughts, it's important not to let them dominate our minds. Let's say you made a mistake at work. The inner critic might say, "You're always messing things up," or "You're just not good enough." But by recognizing these negative thoughts, you can begin to replace them with constructive ones like, "I can learn from this experience," or "I'm capable of improving." Reframing negative self-talk in this way doesn't mean ignoring mistakes. It means choosing to see them as opportunities for growth. Another powerful technique in positive thinking is using affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce beliefs we want to cultivate. By repeating affirmations regularly, we rewire our minds to focus on empowering thoughts. For example, if you struggle with confidence, a simple affirmation like, "I am capable and worthy of success," can gradually shift your self-perception. Think of Anna, a business owner who often felt overwhelmed by the challenges of running her company. Each morning, she began her day by saying, "I am resilient, and I handle challenges with strength." Over time, these affirmations helped her build confidence, and she found herself approaching her work with a stronger, more positive outlook. While affirmations alone won't change our lives, they serve as a reminder of the mindset we want to nurture. Visualizing success is another effective way to boost positive thinking. When we picture ourselves achieving our goals, overcoming challenges, or handling situations calmly, we're programming our minds to believe in these possibilities. Visualization creates a mental image of success, making it easier to approach real-life challenges with confidence. Let's look at Chris, an athlete preparing for a major competition. In addition to physical training, Chris visualizes himself performing at his best, crossing the finish line with pride. This mental rehearsal reinforces his belief in his abilities, helping him stay calm and focused on the day of the event. Visualization is like planting seeds of positivity in our minds. The more we focus on the positive outcomes we want, the more prepared we feel to achieve them. Positive thinking also involves surrounding ourselves with supportive people. The energy and attitudes of those around us have a powerful influence on our mindset. When we spend time with positive, uplifting individuals, their outlook often rubs off on us, encouraging us to adopt a similar approach. Conversely, spending too much time with people who focus on negativity can drain our energy and reinforce self-doubt. Imagine Sarah, who joined a study group where everyone supported each other's progress. This positive environment boosted her confidence, making her feel capable of tackling difficult subjects. By choosing to be around people who encourage her, Sarah strengthened her positive thinking, making it easier to face academic challenges with confidence. One essential part of positive thinking is learning to let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism can create a negative inner dialogue, where we constantly criticize ourselves for not meeting impossible standards. Positive thinkers understand that growth is more valuable than perfection. Consider Michael, a writer who used to obsess over every detail in his work, fearing it wasn't perfect. This mindset often led to frustration and self-doubt. But when he shifted his focus to progress instead of perfection, he allowed himself to enjoy the writing process, learning from each draft and revision. Positive thinking reminds us that mistakes and imperfections are part of the journey, and they don't define our worth or abilities. As you begin to cultivate positive thinking, remember that it's a gradual process. Negative thoughts won't disappear overnight, but each small effort to replace them with constructive ones builds a stronger, more positive mindset. By focusing on solutions, surrounding ourselves with uplifting people, and letting go of perfectionism, we're nurturing an inner dialogue that empowers us to move forward with confidence and resilience. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties. It means choosing to believe in our potential and focusing on what we can achieve. Practical reflection. Think about a situation where you tend to be self-critical. Reflect on one positive affirmation that could help you reframe your thoughts in this area. Write it down and try repeating it each morning for a week, noticing any shifts in your inner dialogue. Positive thinking is a powerful tool for building resilience and confidence, helping you approach each day with a mindset that supports your growth and success. Chapter 7. Cultivating focus. Staying on track toward your goals. Have you ever found yourself setting a goal with enthusiasm, only to get sidetracked by distractions or lose motivation along the way? Maintaining focus is one of the most important skills for anyone seeking success, yet it's also one of the hardest to develop. In a world full of distractions, learning to focus is like giving yourself a superpower, a tool that helps you stay on track and achieve what you set out to do. In this chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate focus and learn techniques to stay dedicated to our goals, even when distractions arise. At its core, focus is the ability to channel your attention and energy into one task at a time. When we focus deeply, we enter a state of flow, where time seems to slip away and our efforts become more productive. Think about a student studying for an exam. If they allow their attention to drift from one subject to another or constantly check their phone, their progress slows and their comprehension weakens. But if they dedicate an uninterrupted block of time to fully concentrate, they not only finish faster, but also retain more information. This example illustrates how focus amplifies our productivity, enabling us to achieve higher quality results in less time. One of the first steps to cultivating focus is setting clear, specific goals. Vague goals like get healthier or be more productive lack direction and are harder to follow through on. Specific goals, on the other hand, provide a roadmap that helps us stay on course. Consider Julia, who wanted to improve her fitness. Instead of setting a general goal to exercise more, she defined her goal clearly: to run 3 times a week and improve her mile time over 3 months. This specificity gave her a clear target, making it easier to track her progress and stay focused. With a specific goal in mind, Julia found it easier to commit to her workout schedule and measure her success. Specific goals serve as anchors, giving us something concrete to work toward and keeping us grounded, even when distractions arise. Another powerful strategy for enhancing focus is breaking down goals into manageable tasks. Large goals can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to lose focus when we don't know where to begin. Breaking down a goal into smaller steps makes it feel more achievable, motivating us to take action. Imagine Robert, who was writing his first book. The idea of finishing an entire book felt daunting, so he decided to set daily writing goals, just 500 words each day. By focusing on one small goal at a time, he was able to steadily make progress, eventually completing his book without feeling overwhelmed. This approach reminds us that focus is often about narrowing our attention to what we can accomplish today, rather than getting lost in the bigger picture. Eliminating distractions is also essential for maintaining focus. Our environment has a huge impact on our ability to concentrate, so setting up a distraction-free space can make a world of difference. Think of Linda, who wanted to improve her study habits. She realized her phone was her biggest distraction, so she started leaving it in another room while studying. By creating an environment where distractions were minimized, she was able to dive deeply into her work without interruptions. Similarly, turning off notifications on devices, creating a clean workspace, or using noise-canceling headphones can help limit distractions and allow for greater focus. This intentional approach to our surroundings helps us control our attention, making it easier to stay engaged in our tasks. Building focus also means learning to manage mental distractions, such as wandering thoughts and internal doubts. These mind distractions can be just as disruptive as external ones, pulling us away from our work and creating a cycle of procrastination. When faced with mental distractions, it can help to gently bring your mind back to the task at hand. Think of David, a software developer who often found his mind drifting during work. He started practicing mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing, to calm his mind and refocus. Each time he noticed his thoughts wandering, he took a moment to pause, refocus, and return to his work. Over time, he found it easier to maintain focus, developing a habit of quickly returning to his tasks without getting lost in distractions. By managing mental distractions with mindfulness, we can train ourselves to remain present and dedicated to our goals. Time management is another key factor in cultivating focus. We only have so many hours in a day, and how we choose to allocate our time directly affects our productivity. Time blocking is an effective strategy for managing focus. By dedicating specific blocks of time to certain tasks, We create a structured schedule that minimizes the chance of drifting from one task to another. Imagine Claire, a project manager with multiple responsibilities. She started using time blocks to structure her day, dedicating 1 hour to each task, such as answering emails, working on reports, and meeting with her team. This method helped her manage her workload more effectively, as each task had a designated time. With a well-organized schedule, Claire was able to focus fully on each task without worrying about the others. Time blocking reinforces focus by giving each task its own time, preventing them from competing for our attention. Focusing on one thing at a time, often called single tasking, is another powerful way to strengthen focus. Our brains aren't designed for multitasking, and switching between tasks reduces our productivity. Single tasking allows us to give our full attention to one task, improving our efficiency and the quality of our work. For instance, if you're writing an email, focus solely on that email until it's complete, rather than checking other messages or browsing the web. By finishing one task before moving to the next, we avoid the cognitive strain that comes from task switching, allowing us to stay in a state of flow and maintain our focus throughout the day. Another effective way to cultivate focus is by practicing self-discipline. Focus and self-discipline go hand in hand. Staying focused often requires saying no to distractions and maintaining commitment to our goals, even when it's tempting to give in. Developing self-discipline means consistently prioritizing long-term goals over short-term pleasures. Let's look at Josh, a college student who wanted to improve his grades. He realized that social media was a major distraction, so he set a rule for himself to only check his accounts after finishing his assignments. By practicing self-discipline, Josh was able to focus better on his studies, ultimately achieving the academic improvement he desired. Self-discipline strengthens our ability to focus by helping us resist temptations and stay committed to our intentions. As you work on cultivating focus, remember that it's a skill that grows over time. By setting specific goals, breaking them into manageable steps, managing distractions, and practicing self-discipline, you're building a foundation for lasting focus. With each small effort, you're training your mind to stay engaged and committed, creating a mindset that values consistency and dedication. Focus isn't about being perfect. It's about continuously choosing to return to your goals, even when distractions arise. Practical reflection. Think of one goal you're currently working toward. Identify one distraction, whether external or internal, that often gets in your way. Reflect on a small change you could make to minimize this distraction and create a plan to implement it. Cultivating focus is about making intentional choices that support your progress, helping you stay on track toward your goals. Chapter 8. Growth through Gratitude, Harnessing Positivity for Progress. Have you ever noticed how focusing on what you're grateful for can instantly lift your mood? Gratitude is a powerful mindset that allows us to appreciate the good in our lives, shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already have. More than a fleeting feeling, gratitude can transform how we view challenges, motivate us to pursue our goals, and foster resilience during difficult times. In this chapter, we'll explore the impact of gratitude on personal growth and learn how to harness this mindset to fuel our journey toward success. Gratitude is the practice of recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, no matter how small they may seem. It's easy to overlook everyday blessings when we're busy or focused on our goals, but gratitude invites us to pause and acknowledge the good that surrounds us. For instance, consider Ben, a software engineer who spent most of his days absorbed in work, often feeling stressed by deadlines and responsibilities. One day, he decided to start a gratitude journal, jotting down 3 things he was thankful for each morning. At first, they were simple things: a good cup of coffee, a sunny morning, a supportive colleague. But over time, Ben noticed a shift in his outlook. His stress became more manageable, and he found himself approaching his work with a renewed sense of enthusiasm. Practicing gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it reminds us that there's always something positive to hold on to, even on difficult days. Gratitude also strengthens our relationships, which play a crucial role in personal and professional growth. When we take the time to express appreciation for the people around us, we nurture bonds that provide support encouragement, and guidance. Imagine Sarah, a team leader who decided to thank her colleagues regularly for their efforts and dedication. By expressing genuine gratitude, she created a positive work environment where people felt valued. Her team became more engaged, motivated, and willing to go the extra mile. This example highlights how gratitude fosters connection and trust, creating a supportive network that helps us grow and succeed. When we show appreciation for others, we not only enhance our relationships, but also build a community that lifts us up and inspires us to reach our goals. One powerful way gratitude drives growth is by shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. Many people fall into the trap of constantly comparing themselves to others or focusing on what they don't have, which leads to dissatisfaction and self-doubt. Gratitude helps us break free from this cycle by redirecting our attention to what's going well. Consider Lisa, an aspiring entrepreneur who struggled with feelings of inadequacy because she wasn't as successful as her peers. She often felt frustrated, wondering why she hadn't achieved the same level of success. After attending a workshop on gratitude, Lisa decided to focus on her progress rather than her perceived shortcomings. Each day, she reflected on the skills she had gained, the small victories she had achieved, and the support she received from friends and mentors. This shift in perspective helped her feel more confident and motivated, allowing her to focus on her journey without being weighed down by comparison. Gratitude also encourages a growth mindset, which is essential for long-term success. When we're grateful, we see challenges as opportunities for learning and improvement, rather than as setbacks. Think of Mark, a high school athlete who missed a crucial goal in an important game. Initially, he felt disappointed and frustrated, but he decided to reframe the situation by focusing on the experience he had gained. He was grateful for the opportunity to compete, for his supportive team, and for the lessons he learned from the game. This attitude helped him approach his next practice with a sense of determination, focusing on how he could improve. By choosing gratitude, Mark embraced a growth mindset, viewing each experience as a stepping stone rather than a failure. When we approach challenges with gratitude, we create room for growth, recognizing that every experience adds value to our journey. Practicing gratitude also enhances our resilience, making it easier to navigate difficult times. Life is full of ups and downs, and gratitude provides us with a steady foundation, helping us to find strength in adversity. Let's consider Emily, who faced a major setback when her business project failed. Instead of dwelling on the disappointment, she made a conscious effort to focus on the support she had received, the lessons she had learned, and the skills she had developed. This grateful mindset helped her stay resilient, allowing her to move forward without feeling defeated. Emily's experience illustrates how gratitude helps us stay grounded, even when things don't go as planned. By focusing on what we've gained, we become better equipped to bounce back and tackle future challenges. To cultivate gratitude, it's helpful to create a daily practice, such as keeping a gratitude journal. By writing down a few things you're grateful for each day, you train your mind to seek out the positive, even in ordinary moments. This habit shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, helping you maintain a balanced, optimistic outlook. For example, John, a busy father and manager, found himself overwhelmed by his responsibilities. He started writing down 3 things he was thankful for each evening, ranging from meaningful conversations to small achievements. Over time, he noticed that he felt more content and less stressed. His gratitude practice reminded him that, even on hectic days, there were moments of joy and fulfillment. Another way to practice gratitude is to express it directly to others. A simple thank you can go a long way in strengthening relationships and fostering positivity. Whether it's a coworker who helped you with a project, a friend who listened to you, or a family member who supports you, expressing appreciation deepens connections and reminds us of the positive impact people have on our lives. Let's look at Linda, who made it a habit to thank her friends, family, and colleagues regularly. Her expressions of gratitude not only strengthened her relationships, but also created a ripple effect, inspiring those around her to be more appreciative. This sense of connection and mutual support enriched her life, making her journey toward her goals more enjoyable and fulfilling. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine doesn't require grand gestures. It's about finding small ways to appreciate what you have. Whether it's savoring a cup of tea, enjoying a moment of calm, or acknowledging a personal achievement, these small acts of gratitude remind us that life is filled with positive moments. As you cultivate gratitude, you'll find yourself more grounded, motivated, and capable of handling challenges with resilience. Gratitude enhances our journey, helping us stay focused on growth and allowing us to celebrate each step along the way. Practical reflection. Think of 3 things you're grateful for today. Reflect on how they contribute to your life and write them down. Consider how a regular gratitude practice might help you stay focused on growth and positivity. Gratitude is a powerful tool for personal development, reminding us that even amid challenges, there is always something to appreciate and learn from. Chapter 9. Creating Lasting Habits. Turning Actions into Achievements. Have you ever set a goal with the best intentions, only to find yourself struggling to stick with it over time? The truth is, motivation can only take us so far. To make meaningful, long-term progress, we need to build habits that support our goals. Habits are the small, consistent actions we take every day, often without thinking about them. When aligned with our objectives, they become the building blocks of lasting success. In this chapter, we'll explore how to create habits that turn actions into achievements, guiding us steadily toward our dreams. The power of habits lies in their ability to automate our actions. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires conscious effort or willpower to maintain. Think about brushing your teeth. You do it daily without having to motivate yourself or plan it out. Now imagine applying that same automatic behavior to your goals, whether it's exercising, writing, studying, or working on a project. By establishing habits that align with our objectives, we create a structure that naturally leads to progress. For example, Laura wanted to become more fit, but she struggled to find the time and motivation to exercise regularly. Instead of relying on willpower alone, she decided to build a habit of doing a quick 10-minute workout every morning. At first, it took effort, but after a few weeks, it became a natural part of her routine. This small habit eventually led to significant improvements in her fitness, demonstrating how consistent actions can accumulate into meaningful results over time. One of the most effective strategies for building habits is to start small. Many people make the mistake of trying to change too much too quickly, which often leads to burnout and giving up. By starting with a small, manageable action, you make it easier to establish a habit that can grow over time. Take the story of Tim, who wanted to read more but felt overwhelmed by his goal to finish a book each week. Instead of trying to force himself through entire chapters, he committed to reading just 5 pages a day. This small, easy-to-accomplish habit quickly became part of his routine, and soon he found himself reading more naturally, sometimes even exceeding his initial target. Starting small helps overcome the mental resistance that often accompanies change, making it easier to build momentum and gradually expand the habit. Consistency is another key component of habit formation. Repeating a behavior regularly reinforces it, making it easier to maintain over time. This consistency helps the brain recognize the action as part of your routine. Imagine Daniel, who wanted to improve his productivity at work. He decided to start each day by planning his tasks for 10 minutes. Although it seemed like a minor change, doing it every day at the same time made a big difference. Over time, this planning session became an automatic part of his morning, helping him stay organized and focused. By consistently practicing his new habit, Daniel was able to transform a small action into a powerful tool for success. The key to building lasting habits isn't perfection, it's about regularity, showing up and doing the work, even on days when it feels challenging. Another helpful technique in habit formation is linking a new habit to an existing one. This is often referred to as habit stacking. By attaching a new behavior to something you already do regularly, you make it easier to integrate the new habit into your routine. Chapter 9. Creating Lasting Habits, Turning Actions into Achievements. Have you ever set out to change something in your life, only to find yourself slipping back into old routines after a few days or weeks? Building lasting habits is one of the most powerful ways to achieve lasting success, yet it's also one of the most challenging. Habits shape our daily actions, decisions, and ultimately our lives. By understanding how to create and maintain effective habits, we can make steady progress toward our goals without constantly relying on willpower or motivation. In this chapter, we'll explore the principles of habit formation and how to turn small, consistent actions into significant achievements. Habits are essentially actions we repeat regularly until they become automatic. When we first start a new habit, it requires focus and effort, but over time it becomes a natural part of our routine. Imagine Alex, who wanted to develop a reading habit but struggled to find the time. He decided to start small, reading just 10 minutes each night before bed. At first, it felt like a chore, but after a few weeks, he found himself looking forward to that quiet time with a book. Reading became part of his nightly routine, and over time he read several books he had long wanted to finish. This example illustrates how small, consistent actions build momentum, allowing us to form habits that eventually feel effortless. The key to creating lasting habits lies in starting small. Many people make the mistake of setting overly ambitious goals, only to feel overwhelmed and give up when they can't maintain the effort. Starting with manageable actions allows us to build confidence and develop consistency. Consider Sarah, who wanted to start exercising regularly. Instead of committing to an hour-long workout every day, she began with a 5-minute routine, gradually increasing her time as she grew more comfortable. This approach made it easier for her to stay consistent, and before long, exercise became a natural part of her day. Starting small might seem like slow progress, but it creates a strong foundation, making it easier to build up to larger goals over time. Another essential factor in habit formation is creating a specific routine or cue that triggers the habit. Cues are reminders or signals that prompt us to perform a particular action, making it easier to stay consistent. Let's take the example of Jack, who wanted to drink more water throughout the day. He set a goal to drink a glass of water each morning when he woke up. By placing a glass next to his bed as a reminder, he created a cue that made it easy to follow through on his intention. Each morning, he saw the glass and remembered his goal. Over time, this simple action became automatic, and Jack found himself drinking more water without having to think about it. Cues help anchor our habits to specific times, places, or actions, making them more reliable and easier to maintain. One of the most powerful aspects of habit building is tracking progress. When we track our habits, we gain a sense of accomplishment and motivation, even if the changes seem small. Tracking doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as marking off days on a calendar or noting each time we complete the habit in a journal. Consider Lisa, who wanted to write daily but often struggled with consistency. She started marking each day she wrote in her journal, setting a goal to maintain a streak. Seeing her progress visually helped her stay motivated, and,